It's actually quite impressive that AMC ended up maintaining just this red candle for the day, considering what happened with the Fed today announcing the continuation of rate hikes, right? Let's go ahead and confirm or validate what could be coming for AMC in the next days. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an AMC technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this Taco Tuesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so we are looking at AMC on the daily chart here. And what we're looking at is a potential retracement to the zone that we bounced from initially. Okay, so please remember that that zone is located, let me just point it out like this, is located between 594 and 580. Post price action right now is at $6.01. Is that, I mean, some people may consider that a little bit of a psychological target above $6. Right, but sometimes that can be a little bit of bullcrap, right? But no problem. We still have this area of support here, and in fact, if we were to capitulate a little lower, then definitely know that it would be in respects to testing the newly converted resistance into support of the broadening descending wedge in a smaller time frame. Okay, which is good. We definitely need that. Well, and if we don't touch it, then fine. It doesn't always have to happen, okay? But what we do know is that in the larger term broadening descending wedge, which is the macro time frame, right? That we've been writing this since about July, actually, 2021, all the way until about now, right? So this is very important because we've already come back to test that resistance once. So we're knocking at the door, okay? So what we're looking at here is a potential retracement, and hopefully the markets can recover. It may have been an overreaction based on the increase of rates from Jay Powell's testimony today, testifying in front of the panel. So it's very. I mean, we were going to face its downside, right? I always talk about, guys, do not ever play a Fed play. Okay, we don't want to fight the Fed. That's not a good narrative. It's not good enough for us to understand. Even statistically speaking, they are not reactive to statistical measures. They are reactive to future data. Okay, so whatever comes in, Jay Powell will react to. Okay, so which makes it a little difficult. It makes him kind of run on a random walk. Okay, so that really means that it's incredibly unmeasurable or very difficult. I don't know any way to do that. Okay, so and in fact, all the analysts and professional analysts have been wrong for like this whole year in trying to guess what the Fed is going to say. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Okay, we don't know what's in Jay Powell's head, or very little people do. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next page and see what we got. Okay, very important to notice that we are on the hourly chart below VWAP, and that is the volume weighted average price. Okay, so very important tool for day traders and momentum traders alike. And in this particular moment, we're still below it. Okay, so as long as we are below the area of about $6.11, I still have to favor the bears in this situation. Okay, but we're getting to a very important zone of about it could be a terminal area here, though. So this could be a terminal shakeout here, or even in Bitcoin they call this about a vector candle, right? So go ahead, or this one here, right? So go ahead and notice that we do have a bottom side target of about $5.90. Okay, so if we were to kind of compare that to what we have now, $5.90 is within the zone that we've been talking about. Okay, and why is that? Well, we have a gap right here. Okay, I always talk about keeping those gaps even if they're filled. Okay, keep those gaps in play for future play. Okay, that's that ultimate saying you should remember. Okay, so definitely know that we have that in play right there, and it could be an area for us to face a very strong bounce. Okay, so I'm not saying that we're going down there. I'm just saying that it's important for us to consider that there is that form of support. Okay, so from the previous range that we have over here, we would actually be touching down at that $5.94 one spot 618. Okay, so very interesting how price action ends up following each other later on in price action. Okay, so let's move on now and see what AMC has for us. Okay, so upon the closure, which could have already happened, of this. Oh, actually, we're very close to it. I was thinking that we were building a bearish engulfing here. So let's see. The opening of this candle was 558, and the closing of this one was I'm sorry, 658 and 658. Okay, good. All right. So as long as this wasn't higher, then we're good. That could present a continuation to the downside. Okay, so perfect. This actually voids this chart. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so Yeah, please notice here on the 12-hour chart. This is that ascending channel that we've been riding for some time, right? So, with this type of price action, it is kind of indicative of a continuation to the downside. I need to warn everybody, okay? Because if the markets don't recover, then AMC would essentially be reactive to that. And the reason why it would be is because we do have test number 1, 2, and 3. These are very important tests. Okay, so this was a fair, more than fair run that we were looking for. Okay, we definitely touched on this possibility from here, and signaling that this would be the floor. Okay, so please remember that this has been a fair opportunity for gains. Okay, and just to point it out to you, how fair was that? Well, the move that we actually looked at was just almost about a 100% move to the upside from AMC. So that's absolutely nice. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the potential of coming right back down to test this zone down here, okay, which would be about 572 or 569. Okay, so why is that very important? Well, first of all, we have at 570 the 4-spot 618. At 591, that target that we've been talking about in the last two charts is the 3-spot 618. And also, please notice what's happening in the price action here. Okay, let me just go ahead and take this. Go ahead and notice that we have that downside. We have a recovery with a spinning top doji, and then we got that upside. Then we get the downside again. Now we have that spinning top doji yet again. Okay, so very likely for us to face another downside just like this, but usually this is not done after 3 tries. It can be done after 4. And if it is done after 4, then I have to express the danger here, because we would actually be outside of the support line from this channel. Okay, so that's a very dangerous thing to look at, because if we do break down and we actually come back down to what could be, let's see, the support line of about $5.29 per these candles here. Let me just go ahead and put it down here. We would then have the newly converted support into now a resistance of the channel to combat. Okay, so oftentimes we can find a type of resistance here and then a continuation to the way down. Okay, very important for us to consider in the price action. Okay, because this is getting a little dangerous now. Okay, so precarious situation. We just have to watch our longs. Okay, we just have to watch our positions right now. Okay, because if we don't bounce from this $5.60 zone or $5.70 zone, sorry, or 569, then there is that immediate danger. Okay, please know that it is possible for us to actually fail the support and then come back and reclaim it. I'm giving you a very fair warning right now, because it is test number 3, which is usually the capitulation phase. Okay, you guys, so now let's move on to the next chart, which would be the last part of the analysis. Notice here on the RSI 30-minute immediate short-term time frame that we're using that 14-day simple moving average represented by that pink line. The signal line is your purple, right? So we have bounced from that 14-day simple and suggesting a continuation to the upside. Please remember, 30 minutes lives out pretty fast though. Okay, so let's look at the 4-hour time frame, suggesting some consolidation, and even into the 6-hour time frame we have some consolidation. Let's look at the 8-hour consolidation. On the 8-hour, slightly bullish and slightly bearish. Why both though? So please notice that the pivot on the 14-day simple is still slightly to the downside alongside the RSI signal, but the position of your RSI signal is incredibly important in this case. We are in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so that usually means that we can get pulled up, but please remember that now we have 2 areas of resistance, including the bull weakness percentile gravitational zone right down here, and the 14-day simple, which could very likely be around this zone if we do face an upside, and then we will face a rejection, just like we did right here. Okay, so now let's look at the 12-hour. We still have some slightly bullish, slightly bearish, very similar situation here. Okay, so now moving on to the daily, we do have a downside continuation, and we have used that 14-day simple as a form of resistance. Let me see the buy daily. Buy daily making a very bearish cross here. Cross here, and the 3-day time frame is suggesting this would be our saving grace right here. Okay, you guys. So the 3-day time frame suggesting a limited downside. Okay, so why limited? Well, first of all, we have the 14-day simple moving average below us, which is still bullish, and we have the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Very likely for us to find that support before a bounce to the upside. Okay, so what could that mean? What it means is that in a few days we could be, for the next few days we could be trading slightly sideways, slightly downwards. Okay, so please remember that these are just these ladders that people talk about. Okay, so if let me go back to the RSI and take a look at here. So the daily time frame, the one that we're going to have to focus on is this one and the buy daily. Okay, so the daily and buy daily are suggesting downside, but the 3-day is suggesting a limited downside that could be indicative of finding that support at the 569 level or 570 that we're talking about over the next couple days or few days. Okay, so if we were to face any more downside from this area, please remember that it is going to be at risk there. Okay, so that zone could actually be located right down here. I'll draw a box for us. Okay, so let's take it from just about here. I'm lining up these candles back here from this area here. Okay, so I want to see, yeah, just about there. And yeah, that's high confluence there. Okay, so the zone could be, I would say about here. Okay, yeah, right about there. Okay, so you're looking at about 515 to 536 at the very lowest area. Okay, and the reason why I'm giving such a low target is because of the 3-day time frame. This does take time for it to realize, and if it does actually, I mean, if we close earlier. Let's look at the 3-day to see if we have any time frame. 21 hours and 37 minutes is an eternity away from us. Okay, so there is a high probability that we can touch even lower targets than the 569. But 569, keep an eye on that, okay, because we may actually find a bounce there. And if we do find the bounce and suggest a continuation to the upside, then know that we may actually be preparing for a very rare breakout out of an ascending channel. Okay, ascending channels are typically bearish. All right, you guys. So please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these targets, within these videos as just a form of entertainment, okay? As I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Please do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine, okay, you guys? But go ahead and refer to the description below so that you can find the links for Twitter and Discord there, okay, you guys? So with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.